If you are a dreamer, come in. If you are a dreamer, a wisher, a liar, a hoper, a prayer, a magic bean buyer. If you're a pretender, come sit by my fire, for we have some flax golden tales to spin. Come in, come in. It's a poem by Shel Silverstein to start off our magical journey through virtual Sunday school. I'm Shannon Boston, your Director of Religious Exploration at All Souls Unitarian Church, where we love beyond belief. Each week we'll offer a mini lesson, but before we start this week's activity, I want to talk to you about our peace practices, which is something that you can continue to do day in, day out, that's part of your Unitarian Universalist identity, part of your All Souls genetics, as it were. Our peace practices are 3 simple yet pretty profound rules. They go like this. 1, be kind in word and deed. That's everything we say and everything we do. Number 2, respect yourself and all others and the environment. That's a lot. That's respect everything. And number 3, everyone gets to play. These are practices. This is what we try for. Every day, we set this intention. We say, this is what I want to do. I want to be kind in word and deed. I want to show respect to myself and to everyone and to everything. And I want everyone to get a chance to enjoy themselves. I will try and make that happen. And with that kind of attitude and that kind of intention, the world can be a better place.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. It's May 10th, and I'm thinking about all of you today and hoping that you are finding ways to celebrate the mothers in your life today. Today, I have a chalice lighting for us to bring us all together to this sacred space. And then I have a craft for us to do together to make something for whoever you feel that mother connection to in your life. So I have my chalice ready and I have a reading for us. If you'll take a deep breath in with me, think about smelling beautiful flowers today. Okay. I am your mother. You are my child. I am your quiet place. You are my wild. I am your calm face. You are my giggle. I am your wait. You are my wiggle. I am your dinner. You are my chocolate cake. I am your bedtime. You are my wide awake. I am your lullaby. You are my peekaboo. I am your goodnight kiss. You are my I love you. What a nice poem. It reminds me of something I feel as a mother, which is the joy that my children bring to me. And I experience that feeling of motherhood in so many ways. And that makes me think of all the people that I feel motherhood from. I have my mother, who I grew up with, who raised me, who I love. But I've also felt that connection with my grandmother, with special teachers and friends in my life who have been older and kind and calming. And so I think there's a lot of ways to be thankful for the mothers in our lives today. And one of the ways we often show our thanks on Mother's Day is by giving gifts of flowers. Have you seen the flowers blooming outside? Mine haven't really started blooming yet. My daffodils and tulips that I like to see when I walk outside, they are all a little sad at the heat we've had. And some of my summer flowers that I normally get to see aren't out yet. So I was thinking about ways we could create flowers out of something we probably all have. And so what I'd love for us to do today is I'd love for us to learn how to make some paper flowers that we could give to somebody who is a mother in our life, or that we could build some sort of flower thing for to celebrate today. So I want to show you how to make this kind of paper flower. And to do this, you will need a few materials. You will need 2 pieces of paper. This could be newspaper, this could be construction paper, it could be tissue paper like you have from gift bags. It could be the paper that's wrapped around Amazon boxes or anything like that. I happen to have some construction paper, so that's what I'm going to use today. But you need 2 pieces for each flower. 1 piece to be the stem, here I have some green, and 1 to be the flower, and today I'm going to use dark blue. You also will need some kind of adhesive. This could be a glue stick, this could be tape, this could be liquid glue like Elmer's glue. You could even use duct tape or washi tape if you have some of those supplies on hand. Today I'm going to use a glue gun just because I need mine to dry kind of quickly so I can show you how to do it. And you'll also need a pair of scissors. So if you have all of those items, we're going to start with a piece of paper that's going to be our stem. Now I'm going to show you how to make a very long stem. If you want a shorter stem, you just need a smaller piece of paper. So here I have a normal size piece of construction paper, and I'm going to fold one side down and create a nice triangle shape. See how I'm folding it all the way down? And once I've done that, I'm going to cut this extra piece here off so it looks like a triangle. All right, so here I'm going to cut right along this line. And here I have a triangle that when I open up is a square. To make the stem is going to be as long as our fold is. We're going to start in one corner and we are going to roll our stem up like a straw. It's a little hard to do holding, so you can place it on a table. And when you get to the end, you're going to put a little bit of glue or tape right here on the inside to wrap it around and seal it. So I'm going to use just a small dot of hot glue right here on mine. And when I roll it around, it's going to hold it in place. So here's my stem. I'm going to set this aside. See you in a second, stem. The next thing I need is my full piece of paper to make my flower with. We are going to fold this piece of paper in half, hot dog style. One of the neat things about us not actually being together and this being a video is if you need a little longer, you can just pause this video, and when you're ready, go ahead and hit play. That way, if I'm moving too fast, you can go at whatever speed works for you. Okay, so don't get stressed out. Just take a minute. Here I have my sheet of paper. I'm folding it hot dog style. Don't press really hard on this crease here. See how this is just a little crease? We don't want to press it down really hard because these are eventually going to pop up and be our flower petals. So we just want to fold it lightly. We're going to take the open side and squeeze it. So that's the side we're going to hold so that the fold is facing us and our scissors. Now this is the hard part. You can't cut all the way down the paper or it will mess your flower up and you'll have to do another piece. So you're going to take your scissors and you're going to take your paper and you're going to cut on the fold. The fold is in my scissors. And you're going to cut down to almost the edge, but not the edge. See how it's still attached? I didn't cut all the way down. That's what we need to make our flower. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut little strips all the way down, but we're never going to go all the way to the edge. As you're cutting, the smaller you make your petals, the more complicated your flower is going to look, the more realistic. So the closer together you can get, the better. And we're just going to cut all the way down. You know, as you're making your flower, you might think about the person you'd like to give this to, maybe your mom. You might think, what are her favorite colors? What are her favorite flowers? You know, I know a lot of us are home, but there are still lots of ways that we can appreciate the mothers in our lives. I always love it when my daughter makes me a cup of coffee. It's so nice to have someone bring just a small, thoughtful gesture, maybe a glass of water when I'm working out in the yard, or maybe just a hug when I've had a hard day. Those things are really nice. Or maybe making a special meal. Does your mom have a favorite dinner? Maybe you could learn how to make it for her. Or maybe if someone else makes it for you, you could help with the dishes, or you could set the table really beautiful. Maybe put a jar on the table with the beautiful paper flowers you've made in the jar. But no water. We don't want water in a jar of paper flowers. And so take your time as you're doing this because you really want to make sure that you don't come all the way to the edge. See how it looks kind of floppy? It's kind of fun to play with. It reminds me of something blowing in the wind. Well, I'm getting to the point where I'm ready for the next step. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about what to do next. When you're done, you're going to open it up. Look how pretty it looks. And I'm going to fold it the opposite direction. So this is a little hard because your paper already wants to bend, but when you fold it the opposite way, it fluffs up like this. Isn't that cool? So it's going to be nice and fluffy, and it'll make your petals kind of stick up in your flower. The next thing we're going to do is glue it closed. So here on the part that I flipped around, I'm going to put glue all the way along the inside and mash them together here to make one long strip. If you have tape, you can just tape it shut. So I'm going to use my hot glue because it dries so fast. And if you're using liquid glue, you might have to let it wait just a little bit to dry all the way before you do the next step. Sometimes waiting can be the hardest part of a project because I just want to get going right away, but it always makes sense to wait. Always works out better. Okay. Mine is nice and together, ready to go. I could maybe, if I want, like press my petals down to make them pop up a little bit more. Take some of that crease out. But then I'm going to take my stem and I'm going to take this part that I glued and I'm going to glue, just put a little bit of glue right here to hold this on. There we go. Now I'm going to just slowly, once this is dry, wrap the outside around the stem. And keep wrapping until I get to the very end. And then all I need is a little bit of glue on the inside of this flower to close it off. And there it is. Now I can pull these different petals down if I want to make it look like a mum. You can press it down on a table and flatten it out a little bit. And here I have a beautiful paper flower I could put with my other paper flower. And you can make them in all kinds of colors and make a whole bouquet. and give them away to those people who are special, who bring that sense of calm, that feeling of mothering to you. I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day. I miss all of you, and I hope you're finding beauty in the spring and the coming of summer that we see this time of year. Go and be blessed and be a blessing. I'll see you next week.